Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be going over my top favorite ways to earn money fast in Westbound. Most of these are as criminals because I tend not to play as like the sheriffs too much because I just find being a criminal is a lot more fun and makes it a lot more fun to grind the money. Anyways, let's get on with the video. Okay, so this first strategy tends to work best for newer players. This is the one that I would definitely recommend for new players. So that is just hunting because there's not a lot of risk and you still get paid quite a bit. So the first thing, so you're probably going to want to buy the bow because it increases the cost that you can sell stuff for because the hide is less damaged. And you do have to buy arrows, but they're not too expensive. So my favorite spot is just spawn in Fort Arthur, and then I like to head over to the left, and then this area. It's just a whole lot of empty space that you can use for hunting, and there's tons of animals that spawn here. Like already you can see deer and foxes or whatever those are, wolves probably. And surprisingly the bow doesn't have a lot of drop. So I mean, you just aim at the target. Although it does have very slow movement. I mean, like it takes a lot of time to move because of course it's a bow, not a bullet. And the accuracy tends not to be so good. So just keep that in mind. And you need to do a lot of damage, but overall it's definitely worth it because you end up with much more expensive hides. But just make sure that you're on a horse while doing this because those wolves and buffalo, they move pretty fast and you're pretty much guaranteed to die if you don't have a really good gun and you're just stuck out. And so to get their hide, you just click F and then it'll show up. Although there is a limited amount of materials that you can get of hides before you have to go over to your place and sell it. Okay, so I've only been out here for literally just like 30 seconds at the most, and I killed one buffalo and one deer, and I already made $60. And there's pretty much no risk if you bring your horse because you can just run away from the wolves. And there's not really too much of a risk of other people following you. So this is the strategy that I personally would use if you just start out until you start to get better weapons, and then you can move on to some of the later strategies in this video. Now my next strategy, it's also somewhat directed at beginners because this is the one that I used up until probably a couple days ago because it just works so well. And that is come over to Gray Ridge because almost no one spawns there because everyone is all caught up in the rest of the map, especially Tumbleweed area. So you pretty much just get this whole area to yourself. You get to rob stores and occasionally you might get a contest, one person that'll contest you and come over here. Like we have one person in this server that's also doing the same strategy. And in my opinion, this is the best way to grind money as a person who's somewhat new to the game and still doesn't have the best guns and probably won't hold up too well around Tumbleweed. See this guy, he's been doing this strategy. And occasionally he comes over, but like that's only like every couple minutes. And he's pretty easy to beat. Although I do have a pretty good gun, so maybe that's just me. And like one or two cops will spawn here, but like it's nothing compared to the other place. In fact, I don't even think he noticed me until right about now. So this is just easy grinding, and I don't know, it's just, in my opinion, the best way, and it's a very underrated spot because it has really amazing loot, and overall it's just the best place for newer players. Now for my last strategy for the outlaws is this strategy. I use it to even now, even with really good guns and stuff, because it's just insanely good and overpowered. And that is you just camp right where the railway spawns, and that is just right around here. So just come over to here and then you just wait. Okay, and then when the train spawns, what you want to do is just jump onto this thing, and then you pretty much just rob the train. And you'll probably have enough time to rob the train up to 4 times, which is $240, which is a ton of money. And then you pretty much just, after you've robbed quite a bit, then you can just jump off right here and you'll end up at Gray Ridge, which is exactly the spot which we wanted to, where we used our second strategy. And then you pretty much just stay there for probably 5 minutes, just grinding. and then after 5 minutes is up, then you just ride on your horse back over to this area, and then just wait there for the train. I mean, this was an unlucky time because some guy also was doing that, or also rid the train over there and had just so happened to have a really good gun. But still, if you get lucky, then you'll end up on a server where not a lot of, or where no people are doing that, and that's just the best thing to do. You just rob the train 4 times and then ride it over to Grey Ridge, and then once you're at Grey Ridge, you just rob the bank there for like 4 or 5 minutes. I don't know. I can't remember how long the train lasts. And then you just go over to where the train respawns and just wait there for the train to respawn, and then you just repeat that process. Now, I only really have one strategy for cowboys because I hardly ever use them, and that is if this vault is blown open, then what I do is I just go into first person, hide here, and guaranteed that an outlaw will just run in here, look to see if there's something to rob, and then they'll just go for it. And that's when you can just shoot them, or just arrest them with your lasso. Or what you can do is just hide somewhere around the bank. Like, lots of times I like to just hide in one of these empty houses because they tend to, or just hide right here, and then, because lots of times they don't see me in here, just like hide, and then they'll go around, try to rob, and when I hear the bang, I just go around and go in with my shotgun and kill them. Because a shotgun is probably the best tool you want to have, because it does a ton of damage in a short amount of time, and a rifle might not be the best for that, unless it's the Mosin, because that thing just does insane damage. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Tell me in the comments below if there's any tips that you use, because maybe I could try using them, because I mean, I'm always open to making more money faster. But anyways, that's it for today's video, so make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.